Hey there guys, DMO73 here, bringing you some more spoiler coverage for Legacy Lost. Today we have a series of 6 spells that are all very interesting, and they are called the Pacts. That's just kind of what the company has named them, and that's kind of because of their wording and kind of what they kind of represent, where they're the spells that kind of represent the merging of kind of 2 attributes or 2 characters kind of forming an alliance. So very, very interesting, and one kind of for each kind of combination we've seen so far, and then something a little bit separate. But the thing that I like about these leading up to it is the flavor text of all these cards is very, very interesting in my opinion. So we're going to start off with a Rendezvous of Light and Wind. It is the Light Wind Pact. It's a chant with quick cast for 4, so pretty expensive. But here's how it works. So you choose one. If you control a Light J Resonator and a different Wind J Resonator, you can choose both things. And the 2 effects are put a Light or Wind Resonator with total cost 4 or less from your hand into your field, or put 4 +1/+1 counters on each J Res you control. So that's pretty impressive. If you already have kind of a really solid field and you can get both out, you can play it, put in your big creature, and then put 400 on every kind of creature that you have. This is kind of a fusion of like Priscia's ability to kind of flash in your creatures with her God's Art, and Faria's ability from her Memoria side to put counters on stuff. So pretty cool. And this is Don't Worry, We Can Take It Back. And this is Faria kind of speaking to the Priscia stone. Probably Priscia's trying to get back to her body, and in the background you can kind of see Priscia's soul kind of hanging there. So pretty cool. And then we move into Meeting of Light and Fire. This is the Nyarlathotep Lumia one. It is a 3-drop chant with quick cast. Same thing, choose one. If you control a light and a fire, 2 different cards, you can choose both. Reveal the top card of your deck. You gain 100 life multiplied by the total cost of this card and put it into your hand. Or reveal the top card of your deck, deals 100 damage multiplied by the total cost of the card to your opponent, and then put that card into your hand. So the reason why I like this card a lot is it is potentially a draw 2, where you can cast it and then flip, gain some life, draw a card, flip, burn your opponent, draw a card. And for 3 at quick cast speed, drawing 2 cards is pretty nice in my opinion. So definitely like this card a lot. The artwork is a little bit weird. I think this is right after Lumia just got released from the Frozen Casket, I would have to imagine. But the text here is, Crimson Girl, there's a lot I want to say to you, but there's time for that later. And then Nyarlathotep responds, there's nothing you need to say that I don't already know. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's pretty interesting. And then we move on to Plot of Water and Darkness, 3-drop chant. It is the Black Water, Darkness Water Pact. It's got quick cast, and same thing, water and darkness, utility. Destroy target resonator, or put a +4/+4 resonator token into your field. So this is kind of the most straightforward one, I think. It is just a hard stoning to death, but it can also get you a creature. I actually really like this one. If you're playing a controlled match, not that we have a ton of creatures, but if you have this kind of stuff available, being able to kill something while also putting a creature on the field, especially at quick cast speed, is pretty nice. And then the text here is interesting. I think I'll take it in Fading Demon of Water, Valentina. So it looks like she's kind of possessing Moodstart here a little bit. And we have the Sympathy of Wire, Fire and Water. It is a 2-cost chant. It does not have a quick cast, but it is an ancient magic, so that's important to know. Has the usual requirements just for water and fire, and then it does produce 3. Spend this will only to play ancient magic cards, or target chant in your graveyard gains remnant until the end of the turn. So essentially you can turn 2 counters into 3 will for that turn, and then you can cast a spell in your graveyard that turn as well. So pretty interesting. I think being able to kind of recycle your spells is awesome. And then this is obviously Soul, but we don't really know who this character is, except we can look at the flavor text. Is everything proceeding on schedule, Alfred? Yes, please leave it to me. Soul and Alfred. So this is obviously Alfred. I imagine he's probably related to I want to say he's probably related to Allosaurus. He's got the demon horns. He's got the same kind of like clothing that Allosaurus has. So this is probably like a brother, or maybe Allosaurus is like someone related to Allosaurus, I would imagine lore-wise, who works for Soul as opposed to Allosaurus, who works for Gil Lapis. And then we have Tuning of Wind and Darkness. It is 3-drop. It does not have quick cast, and it says if you can, the usual requirements, you can recover up to 4 target magic stones, or put target resonator from your graveyard into your hand. So this one's kind of okay. It's much better if you do have both, because then it's essentially free, and you can get a creature back from your graveyard. But because it's not quick cast or anything else like that, it can be kind of risky, especially if your opponent counters stuff. But interesting anyway. And it says, so the flavor text here is, we meet again. Another person says, I need a favor. Oh, Mikage has risen again. Ah, now that's a name I have not heard in some time. So Grubalesta and Lilius Petal. So this is obviously Grubalesta, how he looks now. So he's nice and old. And then Lilius Petal is right here. So Grubalesta is somehow out of his stone. And Lilius Petal is right here, kind of being called on by Grubalesta. So pretty interesting there lore-wise. And then our last one is Fated Reunion. So this is a 2-cost, so it is the cheapest of them. It is also still just a regular speed. And it says choose one. If you control 2 or more darkness, J/res, you may do both. Search your deck for a card, then shuffle the rest of your deck and put that card on top of it, or draw a card. So this is essentially, if you have 2 creatures, this is a tutor for any card in your deck. I think that's really, really good, especially since it's only 1 black and 1 colorless. We're not in a format right now where resonators are sticking around a lot, but I mean, if you consider people are playing stealth a lot, I think this card is really nice for stealth, just being able to tutor what you need kind of after you flipped on your opponent's turn. If your stuff survives, hey, I've got 2 or more, I'm gonna draw for my turn, and then I'm gonna cast this pretty easily and tutor for whatever I need in the deck. So pretty good overall. And then the text message here, or the flavor text is, and so you return alive. And then you thought your son would die that easily? Gil Alhamat and Alhamaat, if I'm pronouncing that right, and Gil Lapis. So this is obviously Gil's dad, Lapis's dad. So that's interesting. Can't wait to see what kind of person he's like. It seems like Lapis is not really good friends with his dad, maybe. We'll have to see what it's like in the lore. But that's still kind of cool that we're seeing these kind of characters get fleshed out. So that's all we have for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think these spells are good? Do you think these guys are bad? What kind of decks you would want to play them in? Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe as always. And until next time, this is DMO73 signing off.